Hello everybody, welcome back to the Black Diamond Couch here in Innsbruck. We are at the Innsbruck World Cup and today is our last live stream actually. We've been on since Friday, so thank you all for joining us. And today is a big day because the lead finals are just ahead of us. Yesterday we watched the spectacle of the semi-final round and we've got here today athletes, coaches, who else? Yeah, mostly athletes actually. And we're gonna start off with the Black Diamond giveaway. I have the card because obviously I was gonna forget that right away. Yes, I have to actually start with a big thank you to Black Diamond who invited us here for this week. Thank you so much, Anna, for also all the goodies that we're going home with. But there are more goodies for you guys because they put up for grabs this awesome chalk bag that has in it all the random questions for the day, and also the Black Diamond, I forgot the name of it, but the crag bag, which is like the part of the Olympic kit. So to put the chalk bag down, I will put the chalk bag down. Don't worry, Seb. To win this giveaway, you gotta answer the question of the day, which is, what does Black Diamond mean to you? Well, it can mean anything, but yeah, just pop it in the questions on the live chat down below if you're seeing this after the live stream. What else? It's only valid if you live in the European continent, because we are at the Black Diamond Europe headquarters. So yeah, let's try to keep it European. But if you've got a good answer and you don't live in Europe and you don't want to win the giveaway, just pop it down in the comments below. Like and subscribe, don't forget to do that. Did I do all the admin stuff, Flo and Seb? They are my colleagues behind the camera and the computer. So if you're gonna ask any questions during this live stream to me or well, better to the guests, they are gonna be reading them out. Can we start? Oh, I'm getting thumbs ups. Okay, so our first guest today is the Japanese national coach. We've got Benny Hartman with us. Hartman. Where did I put all my cue cards? Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, yeah.
I'm gonna start off with all your favorite questions, because I heard that they always ask you, do you speak Japanese?
Yes, a little bit, but not as much as I should, actually.
Okay. What's the essential words that you need to know to be a coach for the Japanese team?
There are no essential words, I think.
Left and right? No? To give beta to the athletes? No.
As a good coach, you need to have empathy, and then the words, and there is no secret word.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you live in Japan most of the year?
No, I'm living in Germany, but just usually during training season or for training camps, then I'm in Japan.
And what was the other favorite question? So yeah, how many years have you been the Japanese coach?
Yeah, I joined the Japanese team first time 2008 for World Cup. Yeah, and since then, it's already a few years.
And what made you stick with the Japanese team? Because I guess, yeah, it's been 16 years now that you're working with them.
I still enjoy it. And for me, it's in the first years, I also did youth training camps. And most of the athletes who are nowadays at the top, I know since quite a long time. So, yeah, it's fun working with them. Yeah.
But what makes it fun, to work with them? Because I mean, it is such a different culture. I mean, I went there to Japan and climbed a bit around in the gyms. What do you think the main cultural differences are, but also what's the benefit of working with them?
Depends on who do we compare them with. So for example, let's say here the Austrian or German part. Yes, yeah, I'm also German, so usually, yeah, we really like to complain about things, and this is something in Japan which you don't find that often.
They don't complain
So
a lot.
usually, first thing is you look what you can do better by yourself, what you need to work on, and I really like this work ethic.
So they're quite focused on actually asking themselves questions.
Yeah.
Or
there was once a competition, and in qualification rounds there were 3 slabs or something like that. And then one famous climber posted something, this is not cool, too many slabs and so on. And then some athletes from my team approached and said, Benny, this and that climber, that he cannot post something like that. And so it's his opinion, he can tell us. Yeah, but he's a professional climber, he just need to climb what's there. That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you cannot, then train this kind of style. So.
And the other night, we actually saw 3 Japanese men on the podium of the World Cup. How is it to have in your hands such a strong team? Like, over the years, how have you found this talent?
Yeah, first of all, it was super cool that all these 3 were on the podium. But I don't know, because Sota Amagasa, that was his first win. And the story of Sota, and that was also why it was so emotional for me, because he joined the World Cup team 4 years ago. And then after that, he had a really, really tough time for 3 years because his mother died. And then next year also his father got cancer, and then his father actually died last year. And so he could not make the national team, and now he came back, and I was just so happy that he could join us on the World Cup circuit and just, enjoy life. And then that it ended like this was just, for me, the topping. It's super cool.
Yeah, it was super cool to see him on that last boulder. I mean, you could clearly see how much it meant to him, and it was an amazing final to watch. But speaking more at large of the Japanese team, I mean, even yesterday during the lead final, you had like 9 men in the semifinal, and then 5 women in the semifinal. Like, really, how do you harness like so much talent all in one team? And so how do you keep them going? Because I'm thinking like it must be like just so competitive to enter into the Japanese team. Like, how do you harness this talent, and how do you all work together to keep them at the top?
When I started, so the Japanese team was not that strong. So when 2008, Akio, she had the chance to go to finals, but there was not that kind of depth in the team. And then the first bouldering World Cup was 2011, was won by Tsukuru Hori in Kenmore. And then later it started with Kokoro Fuji in Mumbai and Rei Sugimoto in Vienna. And from then on it start going. And it always needs a certain kind of group which kind of push each other. And this happened first with the bouldering team, and since 2-3 years now, also the lead team is really kicking in, and we're getting this kind of depth in the team. And at the moment we are the biggest team on the circuit, but there will be a rule change, and then next year we will have even more hard time.
What do you mean? That like less people in the team?
That the IFSC at the moment is there will be a change in the World Cup quota, so that in each discipline per gender only a maximum quota of 6 people can compete.
Oh, that's
and this
not
is
that
for
much,
us
many,
like hard, because for me the World Cup should be the competition of the highest level, and so the best athletes of the world should compete at the World Cup. So in my opinion, this should be the goal. And I understand that for Olympic Games or World Championships you have these quota things to have it super international and whatever, but we need the highest league, and this should be the World Cup. And because of that, actually, I disagree a little bit with this decision, I would say.
Yeah, I didn't hear it until now, but like, yeah, I genuinely think if they are the best in the world and they keep proving they're the best in the world, like, there's no need of like to cut them out. And 6 is not that many athletes, and yeah, I cannot even imagine how you will then pick that team, because there is so much talent in Japan. I feel there's something going on there in the background. Are there any questions for Benny from the audience?
Yeah, we got some questions. First question is from Arnaud Terribas. He's been really good with the questions this weekend. First one is, what was the biggest weakness you identified in the team when you started with them?
Weakness?
Any?
No, at the beginning, honestly, when I joined, the World Cup was not like now. We were traveling around with one car, and for me, it was more funny. I started first with a competition analysis, for example, like competition feedback forms, and I did it the German way, this is good, this is bad.
Okay.
Let's sit together, talk about it, and of course it did not work. So that was kind of funny for me, and actually this is also a really nice point when you're talking about cultural difference, because in European part, usually we focus on the negative things. Yeah, you want to get better. So what are the and then you talk, this was bad, this was bad, this was bad. And nowadays, when I give feedback, I have, these are the good points, and the others are the improvement potential. That means let's work on this and you get even better. So everything is kind of directed in a positive way. And beginning was strange, but nowadays I really like this approach. Yeah.
And what was your most memorable moment training the Japanese team?
Memorable moment training.
Or not just one, but like if you can think of I don't know. Yeah.
No, what was really funny is because this is also kind of famous thing that when the Olympic combined format for Tokyo with the 3 disciplines, everybody said, the boulder and lead climbers, they will never become fast in speed and they will look kind of hilarious compared to the speed specialists. And that then in the end, Tomo was like, oh, can I try something? Okay. And then he found the Tomoa skip and that was a really cool thing to see.
So you were there in the moment when he was like, well, I might as well change.
No, I was not there, but I know how it is. Yeah.
You know the story of it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. There's one more question from the audience.
Yeah. One more question. This time is Hao Qian Wang. I hope I say that right. And she's asking, what makes I so different on lead wall?
This is something, I think she has some things which is really important in lead. Is it that even if you're fully stressed out, that you stay calm and make rational decisions. And you stay in position. And this is what she's really good at. So she has super good flexibility and body position and everything. But this kind of stress resistance until the end is something which is, I think, really outstanding.
How much focus do you actually put on the mental preparation with the athletes?
I think in the World Cup, the mental part is a really, really important one. Yeah, because all the people who compete in the World Cup are strong. And I think in every team you have in trainings, you see athletes, they are super strong and then they cannot show it on stage. And I had athletes, they were never the best in training, but when you put them on a stage in front of a crowd, then suddenly they do things they can never repeat afterwards.
Yeah, so, I gotta say, there's like a thunderstorm going on or about to take place. Do you think the finals tonight is gonna go through anyway?
The last time I looked at the forecast, it looks the later it will get better. So I think first they will delay it and then we will see what happens.
All right. I think I have to let you go because you told me that you don't have that much time for us.
Yeah, I need to go to isolation.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, there was a fly going around here. Try to maybe take it into a cup and bring it outside. Okay, before our next guest, we have an awesome clip that's from one of the best videos that I've seen in recent years about climbing. And it's from a trip of Jakob Schubert and crew down in Mallorca. So roll the clip, please.
It is definitely scary, and just us screaming up the beta, her finding her way through that roof was very impressive, I think.
Yeah, it was incredible. I was so focused and so in the flow. It was such a nice route, really steep, and yeah, I'm actually a bit lost for words right now.
Yeah, Julie also had a very nice try on it. It was actually one of the craziest falls of our crew, I think. She fell like really high up and we were all quite impressed how like little amount of scariness she has. Like she was really not scared at all. A few more meters and she would have been on the easy part. Very impressive and very scary fall, definitely, but luckily she didn't get hurt.
Thank you for that clip. And here with us, we have Julia Fišer. You actually told me it's Fišer? No?
Yeah,
How do you pronounce your
exactly.
surname?
It's Julia Fišer. It's a Czech name because my grandparents are from the Czech Republic, and that's why it's spelled a bit differently than you would assume.
And Julia is fresh off. She climbed in the semifinals yesterday. So how did it go? How are you feeling today?
Yeah, actually it was really an awesome experience. The crowd was crazy. There were so many people. Like, I've never seen so many people in semifinals before, and they were so loud. They were pushing a lot, and it was just so much fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
So I kind of Instagram stalked you yesterday, and so I have a couple of questions from the posts that you put up. But for who doesn't know you that well, do you mind if we do a couple of like rapid fire questions just to introduce you?
Sure.
How long have you been climbing?
I started climbing when I was 11, and I'm now 27, so around 15, 16 years.
And what got into I can't speak anymore. It's been too many days. What got you into climbing?
It's a funny story because I used to be a figure skater before I was a climber, but I always wanted to start climbing. But my mom, she didn't allow me. She thought it was too dangerous. But then a friend of mine, a school friend, she was allowed to go to a climbing class. And my mom said, yeah, okay, fine, you can go with her. And yeah, that's how it started.
And then the skates.
Yeah, exactly.
You hung them up. And what's your favorite discipline?
Lead.
Well, that makes sense since. How often do you train?
I usually train 5 days a week, and sometimes I do double sessions, but usually I have 2 climbing rest days.
And who's your climbing hero?
That's a tough question, but I would probably go for Jakob Schubert because he's just such a good all-around climber, and he's been on top for such a long time. It's really impressive to me.
But you're also in the same team as Jakob, so how is it training with him?
Yeah, of course, like most of the time you can learn a lot from him, because if it's about the mental attitude or training attitude, he trains a lot, and he always pushes through training, and I learned a lot from him about that aspect. So most of the time it's really nice, or it's always really nice to have someone so strong and so experienced in your team.
And you had a couple of climbing injuries over the years. So and it's been like, yeah, a couple of climbing injuries like stacked up after the other. I guess this is your comeback year. How are you physically feeling?
2 years ago, I dislocated my elbow during bouldering. Like, I fell on my straight hand.
Victor as well, who's our next guest, actually.
So the 2022 season, like, I tried to come back for lead season, but it was really tough. And then last year, I got an inflammation on my finger. Right before the Innsbruck World Cup, so right before lead season as well. So the last 2 years have been really tough, but this season I'm actually feeling good and actually stronger than ever. So that was feels really nice.
If you've got any questions for Julia, don't be shy and type them along. Okay, we've got a calm down sign. All right. I noticed that the Austrian climbing team also, well, you obviously climb a lot indoors, but they also take time to do like outdoor training camps. What do you think is the benefit of mixing a bit of outdoor climbing within the training?
Yeah, I can, first of all, for the motivation, it's really good. Like, a day outside always brings me down, and yeah, I can focus on just climbing and why I love climbing in the first place. But I think also every competition climber can learn something on rock, because you need a different technique. I feel like as a rock climber you have you learn how to use your feet really well, so you get a good technique, and it's really important for competitions as well. So I think everyone could improve their climbing if they do a bit of rock climbing as well.
So in your time off, do you actually go outdoor climbing whenever you can?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, nice. Do we have any questions, or else we'll talk about the clip that we saw at the beginning of... Okay, we do have questions, yes. What is it?
Okay, first question is from BFuCube. What self-care do you do before climbing for the day?
Self-care?
Yeah.
So, yeah, usually on a competition day, qualis start quite early. So I get up early and I make some coffee, which is really important, and have a good breakfast. And the night before, I usually do some stretching just to make me feel good, spend some time outside if the weather is nice, and yeah, then just try to focus on the competition. And between the routes, if there's a long break, which usually is when there's a lot of people competing, I try to get some rest. So like I make sure I know everything I need to know about the second route, and then I go find some place quiet and maybe lay down even and have a small nap, which is like really nice. And then it's like I'm focused again after that.
You kind of have a reset for the second route.
Exactly.
All right. And I saw that on your Instagram you've been quite open, and well, you shared also your thoughts on, let's say, eating disorders in climbing and how it is a real issue and a recurring issue every season. Oh, we also have a question from the audience. Yes, I saw you, Seb. Just let me get through this. What has the Austrian Climbing Federation put into place for the athletes to take care of the athletes underneath this topic?
Yeah, I think our federation has been like doing some good work for a lot of years now already, because it's not an issue that's new. Like maybe now it's more talked about, but it's been an issue like for forever. And our federation always had some precautions in place. So at the beginning of every season, we have some national competitions, and they check the BMI. And if you're like under a certain BMI, then you're like under supervision.
Okay.
We have a team doctor who talks to you and who tries to give you some help. And yeah, like what also is really I think good, that most of the athletes have access to a sports psychologist and a nutritionist.
Okay, so you work with a nutritionist.
Yeah. And like giving the athletes that kind of possibility is really important. So actually I learned about the dangers of eating disorders when I was first year under 16 or something like that, when I like got into the team. And that's why I think all of us have we know the dangers, and it's a good way how to deal with it, I would say.
Yeah, also to put out that information, also the correct people that you can go and talk to, or well, they can literally help you out with your nutrition plan.
We have good resources, and that's really important for athletes, so they don't feel alone if they have like a problem or something.
Definitely. The question from the audience, what is it?
Yeah, we got two questions in one from Arnaud Terribas. When are you going back for more deep water soloing, and which deep water soloing route
That's on
was
the
your
list.
favorite?
Yeah, that's actually a good question, because after I dislocated my elbow 2 years ago, I thought I was never gonna do it again, because before that accident, it didn't happen deep water soloing, it happened while bouldering. But
Bouldering is the problem.
yeah,
Like,
not deep water.
not deep water soloing.
I got kind of scared. I got scared bouldering. I got scared on a rope, and I couldn't even imagine like doing deep water soloing again. But now actually I feel good again, and like there's some rumors that some people might go there.
I heard them as well in September, apparently.
After the Olympics, maybe. So yeah, I was thinking about joining, but I haven't decided yet.
Oh, you have a couple of open projects, don't you, that you tried?
I actually do, yeah.
What route are you most looking forward to try again?
I tried Lost Cut and 2 Smoking Barrels with the jump in it, and like I've been practicing a lot of jumps lately because they seem to be on the competitions as well,
Right.
even in lead. So that would be fun to get back on. And also, I fell at like the very top of one route. I think it was called La Hostia, but I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
sure.
in the clip, yes.
Yeah. It would be nice to finish that one off as well.
Fair enough. And how do you think actually competition climbing helps you to then go outdoor climbing, and especially deep water soloing, because it's quite a mental game.
Yeah, I think competition climbing definitely helps a lot for the approach, because you have to be really focused on deep water soloing. So when you start climbing, there's just like the wall and you and nothing else. So it's really important to find that focus and also to stay calm and not panic, which I definitely learned at competitions, and it worked really well while doing deep water soloing.
Yes, we have a lot of movements behind the camera. What's up? Chalk bag, yes. Thank you for reminding me. We have a chalk bag filled with random questions. They're almost over, so go ahead.
Okay.
We have 2 questions left.
Should Janja compete with the man? Yeah, that's definitely a tough question, but sometimes, like especially on a wall that's fixed, like in Innsbruck, on a World Cup wall, they leave the finals route for one more day or something. And like I know when the men get on the women's route, sometimes they say they find it as hard as the men's.
Okay, so the level is like...
Yeah, I think it's a different style for sure, because like whenever I try men's route, I feel like they're way more powerful.
Right.
But yeah, maybe there's like higher footholds and more uncomfortable positions in the women's routes. So yeah, it would be interesting for sure to see Janja compete with the men, especially in lead, I think. In lead, the level might be a bit closer than in bouldering. I think in bouldering, it's a bit more different. The men's boulders are more powerful, and maybe also the moves are a bit longer. So yeah.
All right, cool. It was like a jokey question, but you gave us such a good answer, to be honest. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
What's up next? We usually have clips or cues. I honestly forgot. Oh yes, sorry about this. Thank you so much for coming. I am honestly apologizing. It's been so many days of this. Earlier, somebody who's in the BD athlete team popped by. He's also in the finals tonight, so that's why Colin Duffy couldn't be here with us right now. But we have a clip of him and then an interview. So roll the clip and the interview.
I mean, there's a million approaches you could take to it. I think tackling weaknesses and setting climbs that you know are going to be frustrating is one of the best ways you can train. My climbing style and perspective has definitely shifted. I grew up in the age where it was just all about power American style, but then also grew up through the modern comp style. Kind of like that modern jumpy comp kid. At the same time, thrive on big, powerful, pinchy moves. My skill set has just like slowly evolved over the years, and now I'm like, this is what I want to do forever.
As you saw in that clip, today I'm here with Colin Duffy. He doesn't really need an introduction. I mean, he's a BD athlete. We saw him at the past Olympics. He's been on the scene for a bunch of years now. So thank you so much for making some time and joining us here today. It's Sunday morning, so last night there was the qualifications for the lead finals. How was it for you? How did it go?
The lead semifinal went great. I was able to put up a good fight in the qualification round. I didn't really feel like myself, so it was nice to kind of reset and have a good climb in the semifinal. And yeah, I made it to the final tonight, and I'm very excited to have another round.
The scrape on your nose is not from the lead route, is it?
No, it's from the bouldering round.
Okay.
One of the semifinals. I just got too close to the wall and scraped it.
Okay. Are you all right though? It doesn't hurt?
No, it
Because
doesn't hurt.
Okay. It looks like it could burn though. But I just want to do a couple of like quick rapid fire questions in case who's watching doesn't know you, which in that case, you know, watch a bit more climbing. How long have you been climbing for?
So I started when I was about 4 or 5, and I'm 20, so I've been climbing for like 15 years.
What got you started in climbing?
I started by just like seeing random climbing walls at playgrounds and like rec centers, in like a carnival, and I would just, every time there was a wall, I really enjoyed climbing, and then eventually I found a real climbing gym, joined like a youth program, and then eventually started competing.
Were your parents like, oh, we have to put him in a climbing club or else he's gonna get hurt?
Not immediately. Like they saw that I really loved climbing and then wanted to like give me a chance to like pursue it. And then, yeah, they weren't climbers themselves, so I kind of just found it on my own, and then they supported me.
All right. And where are you from?
I'm from Colorado. I live just north of Denver.
Okay. And what's your favorite discipline?
It's a pretty hard question. I'm better at lead climbing, but I definitely like enjoy the challenges of bouldering, sometimes more than lead, but I don't know. I don't know if I can choose. I think I love being kind of an all-around athlete, like doing both of the disciplines.
That's in my notes. That I think that we saw you coming up on the scene like 2019, 2020, right before the Olympics, and we were like, well, this is the first person that like is an all-round climber. Like you were good at speed, you're good at bouldering, and you're excellent in lead. So it's like, yeah, I understand. Like maybe it's difficult to pick, but you've got endurance for days, basically.
Yeah, I guess. I think I've always excelled on the lead wall since youth climbing.
Nice. And how often do you train per week?
4 to 5 days per week, and then I don't have like a very strict regimen. I will climb if I feel tired, I'll take the day off, and if I just kind of listen to my body. But typically 4 to 5 days a week. But it's not very strict. If there's a week where I feel really just destroyed, then I'll take some extra time to reset.
And are you studying right now?
Yeah, I just took the last semester off to prepare for Paris, but right after the Olympics, I'll go back into school, and I'm like a 3rd year at university.
What are you studying?
Math, yeah,
Oh,
applied mathematics.
All right. Yeah, I always feel like climbers go into like maybe physics or engineering because there is so much of, and I guess maths falls into that. I failed maths in high school, so I'm the wrong person to talk to about this. Who's your favorite climber or hero?
Probably Jakob. Yeah, just both his style and power and like longevity of career are things that I really aspire towards. And so, I mean, I grew up watching him in the World Cups back when I was just a kid, and so to be able to compete with him at like this age is really inspiring.
And you qualified with him for Paris back in August. How was it to qualify then? Like it's like gonna be a year in total before the Olympics. Mm-hmm. How was it just to get it out of the way? And was it easier, I guess, to focus on training? Or I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, how was your training in preparation for the Olympics, having so much time ahead?
Yeah, qualifying in Bern was like dream come true with having a lot less pressure and more time to plan out my training. I didn't have to worry about like the Continental Championships, which was a few months after Bern, and then also not having to do the OQS has given me a lot more time to focus on training rather than competing. So yeah, it was just, I did not think that I would be able to qualify in Bern, but when everything aligned and I had a good performance, it just made the rest of my year easier.
And why did you choose to actually sign up to the Innsbruck World Cup? Because I'm guessing like it's so close to Paris, and I don't know, now in your training, like, are you trying to peak right now, or are you still aiming to peak in Paris? Like, was it just like you signed up to this World Cup to kind of have a check-in with your mind and body? Like, yeah, why did you sign up for this World Cup?
Yeah, Innsbruck's just a good test of where I'm at right now. Obviously, I'm trying to peak for Paris, but having the schedule of this comp is really grueling. Like 3 days in a row. This is my third day on now. I had the bouldering semifinal on Friday, double lead yesterday, and then lead finals today. And so it's like just a really good physical and mental test before the games. And yeah, I'm happy to see where I'm at. Bouldering, the qualifier went really well, and semifinals was quite tough, but overall I'm happy about my shape and looking forward to training more.
What is your strategy to go into these Olympics? Because you already had some experience from Tokyo. So are you gonna go into this Olympics with like a different mindset, or you're focusing more on lead or maybe more on bouldering?
I think focusing a little bit more on lead just more consistent, so there's a higher chance of performing well in lead if you're in shape. And just sometimes the boulder round, you can be the most prepared person in the world and still get like one top. And so, yeah, I'm trying to be in the best lead shape possible, and while also training a lot of bouldering. It's hard to, you have to make some sacrifices to be at a high level in both, but yeah, definitely looking to be a little more lead focused for the comp.
Yeah, I always think like in the lead, the route setters are trying to aim for a top. So if you can top it, it's 100 points in the bag and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, good strategy. And then what else? Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about outdoor rock climbing. Do you have any projects for the fall, maybe after the Olympics? Are you gonna go back on rock? Because we saw you both like bouldering and sport climbing in the US. Do you have any projects?
No climbs in particular, but I'm very excited to get on rock this fall. I want to do 8C V15 and then a 9A plus 515A route. Those are just kind of the next grade levels that I haven't achieved yet, and so I'm very excited to take a step back from the plastic and climb on some real rock after the games.
All right, can we do a round of rapid fire questions or yes? Okay. Bouldering or sport climbing?
Sport climbing.
Footwork or fitness?
Fitness.
Limestone or granite?
Granite.
Finger strength or core strength?
Core strength.
Interesting, you're the first guest to say that. On-site or flash?
On-site.
Where's the best place to climb in the world?
I don't know if I know that one. I haven't climbed enough places in the world.
And what's your summer project?
The Olympic Games.
All right, thank you. Final question, the random chalk bag, because there are not that many left.
What does black diamond mean? To me, black diamond just represents everything about climbing. They both support me in the World Cups and then also climbing outdoors. It just encompasses all of what rock climbing is, and I'm glad to be supported by them.
Okay. Bye. I hope. I hope you're not watching this because realistically you're in ISO. But if you are watching this, then best of luck tonight. We are coming to the end of this live show, and we have two special guests. They are all the way from Canada. I'm joking, I know you say Canada. But yeah, it's we've got this little clip from them. It's a bit old, but it's funny, and we did a mashup, so roll the clip.
No. I'm reunited with my big brother. He's a big brother now. Let's go. Oscar, you ready? All right, the round has started. Let's go. Let's go.
on, Victor. Ali, Vic, come on. Yes, Vic. Ali. Ali, Vic. Ali, Victor. Come on, Victor. Go big. Come on, man. Ali, Vic. Yes, Victor. Come on. Ali, Vic. Come on, Victor. Ali, Victor.
I'm in finals. Let's go. What is that?
It's my depression stick.
Depression stick. Depression banana bread. That's pretty good. Dude, that is mega. The update, it's almost done. He's almost eaten the whole thing.
Oscar's a savage.
Alright, thanks mom for the drop off. Time to head inside for finals. Check into isolation. And check in with the homies. Bye-bye.
Hello, welcome back. I'm here with the Baudrand brothers.
Nice.
Was that correct?
That was perfect.
Kind of. Okay, we've got Victor and Oscar.
Hey.
And Oscar? Oh yes, round of applause.
Thank you to whoever started clapping.
We need an applause sign, like in Friends.
Yeah.
Oscar, you were actually in the lead semifinals yesterday. How are you feeling today?
Good. Definitely tired coming from the OQS and then straight into this comp. There's not a lot of days. In between the two events. So I guess fatigue is definitely building up, but I'm glad I have 2 weeks now until the next World Cup.
And Victor, I see you're representing Team Canada.
Yeah,
but you're
try my best.
You're currently not competing?
So I'm not competing, no. I dislocated my elbow just like Julia was dealing with like last year, I think. And so I'm slowly getting back into it, still doing some no-hands slabs, some one-arm climbing, whatever I can do. But yeah, it was fun to be here at this event and support the Canadian team and Oscar as much as I could. And yeah, I'm unfortunately leaving the Europe trip a little early. You'll have to be a big boy now, you know. Just kidding.
Manage things on my own.
So you've been coaching him throughout.
Well, coaching, and I would just say supporting and like just sharing information more than coaching, you know.
Does he listen?
Oh, he's so good at listening.
Okay.
But it wasn't always like that, you know. We've made a long ways in our like climbing relationship, so it's sick.
Yeah, because what's the age gap between the two of you?
2 years, yeah.
Were you like cat and dog fighting like growing up, or?
For sure, like yeah.
No, we never competed in the same category 2 years apart, and so in youth we were always in different categories. And so the first year competing together in open, it was definitely
it took like a year warm up to get back, like to get comfortable with each other. Because like competing against your brother, like you for sure want the best for them, but you're also there to beat them, and you're comparing yourself with each other. And but now we've appreciated this like connection that we have. This dynamic is different, and I think it pushes us to be our best selves.
So tell me a bit how you got into climbing. Like, did you start first and then you dragged Oscar along, or how did it all start
Oscar,
for you guys?
You can answer if you want.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. So my mom had a traveling job. We would do 2 or 3 years in different countries. We started climbing in Thailand. That's when my parents introduced it to us. We lived there for 2 or 3 years when we were younger. My parents had been climbing for 20 years or so before they had us. They introduced us into it. Victor started first, and then we kind of just kept going and following them along.
Yeah, they didn't like, actually, well, they kind of were like, shoot, we gotta put these easy top rope routes for these kids and force them to go climbing outside. And then we didn't like it at the beginning, but then we started getting comfortable and enjoying climbing outside with them. And then we ended up few years later putting up the lead routes for
For
the
them.
parents, you know. So it's a trade-off. No, we're super grateful that our parents are like super invested in climbing. I think it's an easy way to come together as a family.
And now when you go to the crag, are they like, yeah, go put up the quick draws, or you need to leave the rope up as well?
I put up the creep draws. Yeah, they have to work for it a little bit, you know. Still.
Fair enough, but that's so cool to know that you've got climbing genes in your blood. And actually, the first time that I met both of you, I believe, met you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
He was there too.
You were there too.
Okay.
Yes, you were a bit more miniature size. It's a couple of years ago.
Absolutely.
But I met you in Seus, so you also outdoor climb
Yeah.
quite a bit. But what do you love so much about competition climbing? Because like in my head, it's like two totally different sports. But like, what's the transition between one and the other?
I think it's the natural progression of things. Our parents kind of use climbing camp as daycare, or climbing practice as daycare.
That's smart.
My parents had to work and didn't always want to take care of us, so they'd drop us off at the gym afterwards, kind of like any other after-school sport. So yeah, for us that was climbing.
But we did start outside though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, our parents wanted to climb outside, and so obviously they dragged us along. But as soon as we got old enough to do after-school sports and go to school, we joined the Momentum team in Salt Lake. That's where we lived from the age of 7 for me and 9 for him on to.
We lived there for like 7 years, and then eventually, you know, life happens. You go to school in different places, but yeah, Salt Lake was our main camp, and I feel like we got into comp climbing there, but always had that special connection to the outdoors because in Salt Lake you can hit the rocks 30 minutes drive, and you're climbing in Little Conwood Canyon, bouldering, you know, anything. And no,
the outdoor access in Salt Lake is really, really
It's
cool.
good. Like you walk out of your house and you're like.
I mean, like every radius that you increase, I'll use one hand, in time, like it just gets exponential. Like 15 minutes away, Victor said, like you have Little Conwood Canyon, and then the more you go
Joe's
out
Valley.
in radius, like you just have like 10,
Better.
15, 20 more climbing areas that are all world class. So that's why I think you see a lot of really strong climbers coming out of the Western U.S. area.
Yeah, and a lot of, I think you said Salt Lake, right?
Yeah.
I'm not making this up. Okay, yeah, Black Diamond also based there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I'm just
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah.
like, it is quite a hub in
Absolutely.
the U.S.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions for the brothers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have some questions. The first question is from Andreas Morgensen. It says, which style are you preferring, indoors or outdoors?
I can answer this question. Start off. I think indoors because that's what I've been doing most in the last 3 years. But during the pandemic, during COVID, there was like 1 year where I loved outdoor climbing, and because you can do anything else. All the gyms were closed, right? And but recently, every time I try to go back outdoors, it's really tough. It's like you said, a completely different sport.
You're like, footwork, that thing again.
It's so
like
precise, exactly. All these things, skin conditions, you know, like
conditions.
conditions
As
in
it-
general.
yeah.
Like you have this baby, like indoor fiberglass skin meant for gym holds, and then you expect to climb hard outside, but there's other things, you know, that you have to consider. So for me recently, it's been tough, but Oscar has been able to like do the both really surprisingly well. Yeah.
Yeah, I use outdoor climbing as vacation, I guess, in the fall. When I need a deload from all the comps in the summer, and the conditions are usually best in the fall, I'll take some time off the gym and see what I can do outdoors, and I just get better and better every year.
Do you have any projects in mind for this year? Salute.
All right. Yeah, there's a boulder in Wyoming called the Multiverse.
Why have I heard of it? Is there a video out of Drew
There's a
Ron?
lot-
Okay.
there's a lot of videos.
Okay.
Yeah. That one's had my eye for a second.
Are you okay? Do you want some water? Oh gosh.
Get her some water.
Water is
I'm
fine.
luckily not sick yet, but this guy has been sick for the last 3 days.
We have a clip of like technical difficulties if you want us to
We
put
should
it on.
put it on
Just
the-
that.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
So we get a reset. No, I'm joking. No, okay. Take a minute. Don't worry. I'm just gonna talk to Victor.
Yeah, talk to Victor. Talk to Victor.
Sorry, he changed color. I think it's quite visible on camera.
I don't have any projects yet, but
There you go.
I don't have any projects yet because I spend most of my time balancing training in the gym and university. And so
What are you studying?
I'm studying international relations. It's in political science, and yeah, it's hard to balance the two. But like Oscar said, it feels so good to go outside, you know, as vacation and yeah, go climbing on some real rock. But
Are you not training to be a pastry chef?
pastry chef.
That's all your Instagram. That's
So
your
that's
Instagram
like- that's
basically.
like-
Like all your stories are like super foods.
I'm super passionate because when I came to France for the first time 3 years ago, I did like 4 months training with the French team, and I met this friend who taught me everything he knows about pastries. And there's a big pastry culture in France, more than any other place. Like
The bakers are really good.
Maybe like coffee is a culture in like I don't
Italy.
know. Yeah, but like you know, you go, you try to find the coolest coffee shops. In France, it's pastries are in their like dessert culture and their family culture, and like he shared it with me, and now I feel like I have like that grandma inside of me who knows how to make every single type of French pastry. But no, I think pastries would be too much work. Honestly, it's too stressful.
It's beautiful though when it works out.
when it works out, but the steps before, you're like stressing if it's gonna fall apart or not.
Since we're on the topic of food, I had a hint from a lovely Serena to ask you about your like pre-snacks before a comp. Like, what do you actually eat before going out there?
That is a dangerous question.
Be honest.
I recently bought a pack of 10 Snickers bars for.
Oh, Victor, can we
like
buy this?
€2?
It's really cheap, you know? Oscar, bro.
But like the big Snickers bar, like not the tiny ones.
No, the normal size
but
ones,
like the 10-pack. So like you like
Yeah.
walk around and
It is cheaper usually.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it's,
absolutely.
it's quite smart.
So recently I've been working through the Snickers, but
Which worked because I mean you
Yeah.
got into semis, so
I mean it's sugar, carbs, a little bit of fat, and
nice
maybe
caramel
protein.
in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Okay.
flavor. Flavor's key.
Flavor is key. We've been doing like a this and that questions, but instead of this and that, I'm just gonna ask you to point to each other. So this is gonna be on
This is so fun. Okay.
who's taller. Check.
It's super close.
it's
Oh, wait.
him though. It's
You have taller
though.
shoes.
We know this.
You're taller.
About half a centimeter. It switches. It varies.
Who has a longer ape index?
Yeah, me.
Okay, so you
By a
reach,
lot.
he has to climb.
Yep.
Who's the better climber?
Oscar.
Modest,
We're
ridiculous.
both gonna point at each other. I think for this one.
Nah. Oscar's a slab master. He's dialed.
Who's the most competitive?
I think Oscar.
Who's always right? You gotta say Victor.
no, Oscar.
You're always right.
I'm always right.
Yeah.
And who has the best style?
The climbing style or like
Clothing
closing
style.
style? Ooh.
Yeah, I should have thought of climbing style. We talked about
I
climbing
think
styles.
I have a better climbing style.
Yeah, I agree.
Oscar can make things
Definitely.
pretty
ugly.
sometimes, but clothing style goes out to my brother. Look at these pants. I mean, like
They are stylish.
Yeah.
Are they vintage?
They're not. No. I'm sorry. Points taken away for that one.
All right, cool. I've got one last question. Oh, well, you are going to finish the questions from the random chalk bag of questions. There you go.
oh, you finish it off.
Yes. There's only chalk in here now.
Okay. What's the best route you've ever climbed?
Can I answer this one for you?
You can try.
You know his.
I don't know. Maybe I've already told you.
Okay, that makes me think it's in France, but I was gonna guess algorithm.
It's not algorithm. I never did algorithm.
Oh,
but
shoot,
no, but
you're
you're
right.
right. It's in the Finns. So the best route I've ever climbed. There's this really interesting crag in Idaho. I don't know if people know where Idaho is. It's kind of above Utah.
It's a state.
It's a state in the United States. It's called the Finns, and it's just these humongous limestone fin features that stick out of the ground.
Is it kind of like a gorge and
No,
there are...
it's just
oh,
like
okay.
a big, you like walk, and then all of a sudden you see like
A fin.
a fin sticking out. And there's this route put up by, I think, Jonathan Segrist, called The Catalyst. It's 8C, and you do these very compy moves on a like slightly overhanging wall.
Okay.
Two like bad crimps, high foot, and you do like 1-2 kick to pocket stabs, like
So cool moves, cool beat, like cool
I've
rock.
yeah.
And it's not chipped? All
it's-
natural?
Don't quote me on
Okay.
that. I don't know. But no, it's really good. The Catalyst, yeah, and the fins. Cool place.
All right. Do you have a favorite route?
I haven't climbed many routes. I've climbed more boulders outdoors.
Okay.
My
Well, then
route
favorite
experiences-
boulder.
Yeah, favorite boulder.
Oof, do I have a favorite boulder? Should have thought of it.
You've done a lot of boulders.
I've done a lot of boulders, but no, I have recently done a route. I wish I remember the name, but some close friends from Salt Lake brought me out to one of their local crags in Vegas, and I don't know, some of the best climbing.
Lead climbing.
Yeah, lead climbing that I've been on. Fully drilled, probably no.
Oh, it's just like
hold
a
that's
good
natural.
pocket, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
good 3-finger pocket.
But
Okay.
it was comfy.
All right.
I don't know. I enjoyed it.
How hard is it?
14B.
Nice.
Yeah.
Translation?
8C.
Okay,
8C.
thanks. What about your question? And also, if there are any more questions from the audience, like now is your moment because we're kind of wrapping this up. So get typing, and don't forget to type in the giveaway of today. You get the big stone duffel. I think it's called a stone duffel.
I assume that says life, right?
Yes.
Okay. What is the meaning of life?
I think. Well, it's your question, but I
Yeah.
have
Answer.
something.
Answer.
Snickers. I'm kidding.
Okay. Food. That's the meaning of life.
You want to go?
I don't have an answer
I
yet.
have something. I think the meaning of life is waking up every morning and like.
That's a good start, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
Waking
you
up
gotta
every
wake
morning,
up. You gotta wake up.
Going through your day and being satisfied and proud of the things that you do. You know, being fulfillment, and that comes, I think, a lot. I think it can come externally, but if it comes internally, that's the best.
All right.
I mean, you can interpret this
In
question
any
so
way,
many
yes.
ways, but that's
I like it. Fulfillment.
No, I think I have a different approach. I think climbing has taught us to never be fulfilled with where we are, and I think a lot of people bring that into, at least me, bring that into other areas of their life, and so constantly striving for more. It can be a dangerous pattern, but yeah, I think like
But usually you're always right. So is he right? On
He's
this?
always right.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, constantly striving for more, whether it comes to climbing or life, relationships, anything.
Okay.
If you guys want a psych session with us, you know, feel free. Let
Yeah,
us know.
DM them. They're on Instagram.
We'll tell you the true meaning of
Some
life.
therapy.
All right. There is a question from the audience. So Seb is on the mic, and what's the question?
Yeah, there is a question from Arnaud that is asking, in which way training together benefit you guys?
I think we can push. I learn a lot from Oscar because he's technically better than me in many ways, and he has a different approach to boulders and life, as you know, than me. So I'm always learning from him, and yeah, in a way, Oscar, I guess, is learning from me too. And so
Are you?
Oh yeah, no, no. He says that, but Victor's been climbing with one arm for the last bit, and so he's been focusing more on slab movements. And I don't know. I usually identify as the slab climber of the two of us, and I had a climbing session in Salt Lake where he was beating me on every single slab move, and he only had one arm, and I was using both. So
Okay.
no, he definitely keeps me in check. Like I think we're very competitive with each other. It wasn't always healthy, but I think now it is, and so
You balanced it out.
yeah, absolutely. No, I think just the competitiveness, like striving for more, not being okay with your brother being better than you, definitely brings you a long way.
All right. Thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
by,
thank you. It was
guys.
really fun.
Since it's the last episode of this BD show, I'm gonna ask everybody to come up on the stage, couch, maybe behind the couch as well. Or can we squeeze in?
Yeah, we can squeeze in. Yeah.
That's it. Come on.
Let's go.
I should have written an outro. Seb, come in.
Feet on the couch.
People are missing.
You can do it.
Oh, we are
We're
scary.
gonna say goodbye to everyone. Don't be
And
shy.
this is also the way we're taking a selfie, so it was more like,
We can hold the microphone, so it makes it look official.
it does make it look official. Okay, smiles. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we'll be back here next year. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us throughout these days. Thank you, Anna, for setting it all up.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.